I am currently on the grounds of Chuckback Studio in New Kingston, vibing with an entertainer who over the years would have made a name for himself in the business. His parents named him Christopher Palmer, but we know him as
Mr. Lex. Lexus. Yalem Thermos. Swag dog. Dig it!
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Mr. Alex.
Well, go on, brother.
How things, brother?
Yeah, go on.
Manners and respect and everything good, sir?
So, most things so far.
All right,
so
sir.
most things good, so I'm not complain about one are good.
Early life, place of birth.
Kingston, Jamaica, and I right down the road, I'm on Mountain View.
Mountain View.
Mountain View, grew up 6th Street, Mountain View Avenue. Volatile era of Mountain View, but you know, I made it out.
Yeah.
Look at me now.
Schooling.
Wellington Town Primary, then I passed for Jamaica College, but at the time, parents were really poor and things still. So we got a transfer to Trenchtown over Jungle, so I Jungle for about 5 years. Which is, you know, I'm the best year of my life still. I enjoyed that. And after that, I do 1 year at Boys Town Training Center, hotel, managing, waitering, and catering, which I pursued and passed. So if I never did bus as a DJ, I could have managed a 100-room hotel easily.
As a chef or as?
As a manager, as
just
you
a
know,
manager.
entertainment manager, in a kitchen. But anyway,
Yeah.
one of them part there. I remember saying me do home and everything I can cook.
What was it like growing up in Mountain View though?
Yeah, a bad man place, and it's like, you know, a morning time I go to school, I skip over dead bodies, you know. But you know, from me young, I always feel like me a smarty. I don't know. I always thought I was somebody. So while my friend them they dip on the corner, I pre drugs and you know guns and all of them things. They made a pre offer sign autograph and thank you speeches and.
So a long time you plan it.
Yeah, that point out. So it's just like I never thought for 1 minute that I would get stuck in the ghetto. I just always think like, you know, I'm gonna get out. So growing up, see a whole heap of things, but it never distract me still. I just stay focused as a little youth and, you know.
Siblings?
Yeah, at the time, I grew up with one sister, one little brother.
Parents still alive?
Yeah, my parents still alive.
Everybody alright?
Yeah, man, everybody alright so far.
The name Christopher Palmer.
Christopher George Palmer. I don't know why my mother's so wicked to me. George.
That is the government name.
Yeah, that's
but
my
you
government
came on the scene as Lexus. How
Yeah.
did that name come about?
All right, you know, so Spragga Benz was the artist at the time. Like, you know, during high school, but first I gotta say, the first recording I ever do was at 12-year-old. And this is how it happened. It was weird, because I didn't even think somebody that could be an artist at the time. So when I got Trenchtown in a first farm, there was this lady who had this program on JBC at the time, which is now TVJ. She had this program named, I don't remember what name, but her name was Elaine Wynn Leslie. And she used to have a program where she go to the high school them and pick out like 4 or 5 of the most intelligent students them, and then put them on a panel and have discussions. Fortunately, I was picked. I was chosen for one of the 4 for representing for Trenchtown.
Yeah.
So when we were at JBC, she was interviewing everybody and asked them what they want to become. And you know, something without thinking, I say, you know, I want to become an artist. And she said, really?
So you never give it a thought before
No,
that?
no thought before. No thought before. And she said, all right, go home and write a song about, the topic this week would be teenage pregnancy. So go home, write a song, and we're going to use it as a theme. And I went home, write a song, and she, you know, that was the first I recorded at the JBC studios.
Remember the song?
Yeah, it go, teenage pregnancy, it no right, no it no right, no it no right to your mother and your father, no it no nice, no it no nice, no it no nice. Teenage pregnancy happen nowadays to all of the young girls them we have days, all young girls and little picnic. Want all of who know if take this from me, teenage pregnancy. Yo, that's a big song at 12-year-old, yo, for real.
So you did that and how did that lead you to?
It didn't.
It didn't.
It was used for the theme song for that week, and
Oh, okay.
went back to school. But you know, during my years at Trenchtown, I was an active person. I played football and drama.
Yeah.
Drama. So I do acting and them something. And I was always on stage. Either me a dance or me a act or me a do look at DJ and things. So, and it wasn't until 19. Like even when I got high school, still me used to DJ and go down at Tivoli Comprehensive. I got clash with Ghost and Culture when there was a student
Yeah.
too. when they was a student at the time too.
Yeah.
And, you know, we used to go to Stats and clash with Megabant and them time they might not Megabant and anything, but we used to go
Yeah,
clash
man.
and represent Trenchtown and thing. And even then though, I still never have it say me that gonna be
The
an
music, I think.
no, me never. It's funny how that dropping still. I graduated 1991, and in 1992, because I used to go out community all about and go DJ, I have somewhat of a little bit of name. So you know, a few people did know me in the community as a little DJ and thing. So I start get somewhat of a name. So I'm bridging them now. Spragga Benz bus on the scene,
Yeah.
and the man them say, yo, you want a name, you know? Spragga Lexus.
Spragga.
Called Benz Lexus.
Lexus, yeah.
Yeah, so friend him slack. But after a while we took off the Spragga
Yeah.
and it was just Lexus.
Lexus. That did work.
Yeah,
man,
after a while
it
it was just Lexus. So one day, I sit down out on the front of Mountain View and I see a van a pass. Like me mentioned before, I used to play football. Can play nice football now. I can coach it better than I can play it still.
Okay,
but
cool.
I play nice football still. So I see a van a pass with some man on it and them I say, yo, him can play ball, you know. Yo, you know, come play some ball, you know. And I say, me adventurous and just love it. I never know. I think one person on the truck I did know. But so I just run go get my boots and shorts and thing and something and jump on the bus and on the truck and them carry go St. Thomas. And that was the first entertainer match I play.
Oh.
First entertainer match when we go there. So we play some football and thing and it was a fun day thing and then stage show of the night. And then we mash up the whole stage show of the night and the youth them say, the man them say, yo, if you come at Arrows now, which is a studio down not far from me on Windward Road.
Yeah.
And the man say, if you come at Arrows now, and I saw, I end up start to go Arrows. Because, yo, my life story is so funny. You see the weekend before that, me and my brethren go pick up 2 farm at Twickenham Park to become police. You see me, I say, I'll pick up the farm. So Monday morning, we go drop out the farm, me and my brethren. His name is Zuri Dial. I think he's a sergeant now. Yeah. So we did forgo drop out the farm Monday morning. This football thing happened the Sunday.
Weekend.
Yeah, the Sunday. And so them say Monday me stop. So Monday now when I go drop off the farm at Twickenham Park, I drive past the studio and yo dog, I don't know. Something just say, come off of the bus here, man. So I just come off of the bus and go over the studio and that was it. That was it. My brethren called me the whole day. I said, no dog, where you there? Where you there? I wait for you at Twickenham Park. But I end up at the studio and I'm going to tell you something. Them man upon the truck back turned out to be Terra Fabulous, Baby Wayne, Be started upon it. Be started upon it, but they never bust yet.
They never bust it.
No, at the time, for the man, they never bust yet. There was Monster Shock upon it, there was Be artist upon it, but I never bust. So after that now, year after year, them start bust. Monster Shock bust, Spragga Benz bust, Terra Fabulous, Baby Wayne, all of the man them start bust. Me had the last one bust out of the pack, 1999.
But you never spend all your time in Jamaica though?
Yeah, me used to go foreign and my family are foreign and thing, and so I used to just go foreign, go spend all the time and thing. You know, as a youth still not to go on and your family not to want you there. My mother don't want you there, so she ship me out more time and things still. But like I said, I recorded my first song in 1992, and so it never happened.
You remember that song?
Yeah, man. A song named Girl You Live in your own home and don't have no problem. Own a home, can even invite your boyfriend. Own a home,
but I know that song.
All a weekend. Oh, but it never really bust still. It never really bust.
Yeah.
So, you know, year after year, we did that try and my mother said, you know, go look work. Hungry I kill you and bag or something. Hungry I kill me for real, cause nah, work.
It's rough.
It's rough and thing and still. So, a number of years passed by but each year though, me get better.
Yeah.
Each year, me get better. Each year, me get better. Each year, me start learn more things about music and start learn how to record, learn keys and bars and all of them things there. Until me go and record some whole heap of song. I remind of a rhythm. I'm sure you know some of them on the rhythm. You know, Beanie Man rhythm, the rhythm of Beanie Man depend on it says, same, who got the keys to my beamer?
Yeah.
Oh, man, depend on the rhythm name Playground. That was 1997.
Remind me right then.
My song pan it say, no people don't know me do that song then. My song pan it say, me gotta get hotter every day. That me really all of them on them out the road I say. You are number one and that's how you feel stay. No fat girl fade away, yeah. And
I never know how you do that road
for real. And that's me that bus. The song start get
rotation.
Whole heap of rotation and thing and we end up going foreign and end up at jail, a foreign. It's like, this
I want to talk to me about that.
Yeah, this sucks, man. We ended up at jail and some Vegas bus that year there. It was an unfortunate situation where I I did the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not the drugs. I've never done drugs. I never smuggled drugs. I never used drugs. None at all. And end up going to jail for drugs. It's like, really? But then after a while, I realized that it wasn't me, like Shaggy. So them let me go.
So you were acquitted?
Yeah, I was acquitted. I was acquitted and.
So returning home wasn't a deportation thing?
No.
Cool.
That is a whole different story. But we don't have time for do all of that. But it's a whole different story though.
Yeah.
That was an experience. So we ended up going to jail '97, and then come back to Jamaica '98 and bust 1999.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So you did Sting '98.
Yeah. Sting 98. That was.
What was that experience like though? Because you never really have no song like that them time there.
No, but you see the number of years I'm do from 1992
Yeah.
up until then, like I said, it taught me a lot, and so I was learning how to perform on stage without even a hit song. So I did that do really well performing, you know. And during high school, I used to do drama, so I learned
Stagecraft and
I learned
crowd
control from a young age. So I didn't know how to control the crowd, and from a so, you know, it's like me to prepare myself. And then for the big thing happened, and then the big thing happened. So it was so easy. So Sting 98. Yeah, man, I just run out there with, you know, brave, without a hit song and everything, and just mash up the place, and it happened the next year after.
So you were back in the island, you were back in the country, 1998.
Yeah, man.
When did the big break came?
All right, here. Like, me did that foreign still, and me never da come back, nothing never da go on, dog, and I see G-Force from Stone Love, see me and say, Lexus. Them time me device up a portion of that song and left. Shout out to Ward 21, shout out to Steely and Cleavage, Studio 2000. I shoot my voice up a portion of that song and cut, go foreign. So G-Force see me now and say, Lexus, you have a song named Gonna Make Some Money and mash up Jamaica, you know? If you come to me now, I say, me nah come to Jamaica, dog, hungry, I kill me down that. I say, no, Lexus, the song named Gonna Make Some Money, dog, it a mash up down there. I say, eh? Well, all right, let me see what I go on. I come in and come see what I go on. So, you know, I buy up some new clothes and get up some clothes and thing and say, all right,
If you have a look.
I touch down at Jamaica and thing and face summer there and touch down in that summer. 1998, dog. Go up on them time a club named Asylum.
Yeah.
Go up Asylum and they in the club, man, and you know when I sang a bus and them go and tease it and about to play it. They in the club and I'm bridging my reason and the man go and tease it me here. Hey yo sonny, first of all give me my money. The whole place bus.
Yeah.
And yo, for the next 10 minutes, my bridging them talk to me but me not hear nothing not go on. Cause it's like me zoom, it's like me zone out. It's like me zoom. I said, no, what happened a while ago? I vividly remember the man of my reason and I tell me a bag of thing, but nah, you hear what I said, because my mind was like, what happened a while ago? Until me said the man them dropped the song for real, dog, and the forward and everything, I was like, oh snap. And then after that, it was a ride, yo, it was a ride. I started hearing it on the radio every day, I started hearing every mixtape, every CD, yo, damn, it was a ride after that, yo.
Who you have voiced that song with?
Ward 21.
Ward 21.
Yeah. But at the time, I did a record for Steely and Cleavy. I was a more Steely and Cleavy artist, so I have a whole heap of song recorded for them. So as the one the bus, it's like me just get a next hit song after that, and it's a next hit song, and it's a next hit song. Because right after that bus, I get a next song name. Tell them, say, you know, see we in a fussy man car, you know, on a street sweeper.
Street sweeper.
But right after that, so it's like, to me, they have so much song recorded already. It's just like it's after.
You did put in the work already, so things start aligning and fall into place.
Everything that start falling into
place. So what started happening in a Lexus at the time in life as a result of the hits after hits after hits after hits?
Yo, my life changed, man. It's like, you know, like I got important. You know, my phone started ringing like 30 times a day.
Yeah.
As opposed to 4 times. And you know, the news media them start calling.
Interviews them start coming through.
Interview them start coming often now, and damn, the girls. Girls start coming in.
Yeah,
like,
the girls start coming in.
Yeah, man. But there was a stigma with the music where before me boss, one artist them used to boss every year.
One per year.
One per year. Before me it was Zebra. Before Zebra it was Vegas. Before Vegas it was, I don't remember, but one artist I used to bust it. So when me goes a boom and come bust now, when I said, nah, so I can't do this. My friend them have a art too.
Yeah.
So I start shove my friend them like Kip Rich, Elephant Man start parade me. War 21 them, you know, a youth named Mad Joe.
Yeah, man.
A youth named Jack Diamond. Yo, so
everybody start getting
man, so everywhere me go, me involve them in it, everything. And yo, War 21 them are my God, yo, cause the man them believe in me, yo, the man them believe, like from before my boss, the man them believe in me, the man want to say, yo, you're a star, yo. So it was easy, like, you know, we had a friendship. So anything we had to do, yo, War 21, Lexus, War 21, you know what I say? So, yo, we changed the whole aspect of one artist about. So when you check a stop, every man get a little hype. Every man, you see me I say, Mad Andrew get a little hype.
Yeah.
Everybody get a little hype, you see me I say. Elephant, Keep Rich, all of them you there.
So I am assuming you started flying as well.
Yeah, man, the international show them start coming on here now. That's the part of my job I like most, performing on stage. So, you know, I paid special interest to that part there. So people love seeing me on stage because, you know, I always give them more. And the key thing to me is my sound like my record when I'm up on stage.
No auto-tune.
My sound exactly like my record when I'm up on stage. And I always practice that. Is what I say. So people like that. You know what I say? Enough of the artists that don't really take time for work on that.
Some man a studio DJ.
Yeah, enough of the artists work on that stuff, because that's a key element. You see what I say? And so yeah, like the show them start coming, man, and we just start mash up the whole place, man. As for foreign still, that was a next different story again, dog. Because through me the day in New York now, and them have me as a little New York artist now, one thing, and so them have this big stage show now, and everybody, God and Jesus perform already.
Yeah.
Puff Daddy, 112, Shaggy, Berries, Master Griffiths, Bojo, everybody perform already, and I'm going Bounty Killer left to perform. And I look at my manager and say, yo, ask Killer to make it open, man. and I know, say, my manager got ask him, and he said, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Make him go, man. So I go to boom and go out there, yo. So when I go out there, yo, I slap off the whole stage show, dog. Me remember when I look back on him, yo, make him come now. Make him come. Got me a slap off the whole place.
What's the biggest stage you would have performed on, in your opinion?
The biggest stage I would say would, I've seen a lot of big stage, yo. I think I'm gonna answer my most memorable one. I think my most memorable one would be Sashi 2000. James Bond Beach. When I was the only dancehall artist on the lineup. And take away the show from the whole of the foreign of them. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, I've seen so much giant stage.
What's your favorite place to perform?
At home, you know. At the art here, Jamaica. Even though the hardest crowd for please, it is my favorite place because it's a challenge. It's always a challenge. And internationally, you know, them accept we and love we more and everything. No, I wouldn't say more still, but you know, them appreciate the culture more.
Yeah, that's true.
Than here. But here is always my favorite place to perform because performing here is a challenge, bro.
Yeah.
It's like we still get butterflies when we forgot on a stage show out there. It's like, yo, you don't know what am I gonna think, you know?
When people talk about Lexus, one of the things that normally comes up is why Lexus are twang? What is something there? People generally ask.
All right. You know what? It's not. I guess it's not twang. You know, I was raised to speak properly. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
So from me, I always speak properly. You know what I'm saying? And then when I start going foreign now. I think the reason for that is when I go foreign at a young age, when I talk to Rob and Jamaican, I always have to repeat myself to the foreign of them.
I'm not get it.
I can't bother with that, dog. So you know, it's like, yo, what up, bro? So they understand exactly what I say. So I ain't got to repeat myself all the time. You know what I say? So I guess that's where they come from. But here, well, I wanted to be different. Is what I say. I wanted to be different. And when I used to watch the interview them, when I used to watch the interview them, I used to be like, yo. That's not how I want to sound.
So my man them couldn't do the interview.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that's not how I wanted to sound. So, you know, I make sure when time I do my interview, then I speak properly. At least, if you don't remember me for nothing else, then I'm going to remember me for that.
You'd have been involved in some high-profile feuds. Killer, namely.
Yeah.
Footer Hype, namely. What is the situation between you and those individuals? Not even the details of the feud.
You know, say a while ago, I just mentioned say,
Killer.
Killer give me the opportunity of foreign. I'm a bust the stage show. Killer was the first artist I looked at me and say, yo, if you name Mr. Lex. This is way from before the Lexus company come try
Yeah,
so me.
yeah.
Way from before him say, yo, if you name Mr. Lex. The Lexus thing, yeah. Mr. Lex if you name man. From way from before. Me and Killer never have nothing. He's a brother when I rate. All of a sudden me say me and Killer war. Now, we probably not even notice this, but a three major artists come at me. One time I just bust. And Beanie Man, I'm a god, you know. Beanie Man, I'm a god. I'm a god. I can't believe Beanie Man, I'm a god. I say, no people never really realize because I never really make anything of that. But the man DJ like me and throw word for me in a song. I'm reminding you, one song I say, oh, some boy are going like say, yeah, they man on the bow, and they man on the bow, and another one on the bow. That's what you man a DJ like me and I come out. But you know, we never met nothing of that. That's one of the big artists. And then Cabra. Cabra, oh my God. Cabra, my next god again, because Cabra was the first artist when I go up on tour with internationally. Cabra was the first big artist when I go, I'm tell about with up on bus, I go state to state a tour and me open for him. So him was my god automatically, is what I say, and then my boss and me and this man at war. I'm like DJ, me enough in something else, bro. And then Bounty Killer, so it was like three big, like a 3 AK, and me just a Glock. I was like, oh man, for real. I mean, I'm not the man, I'm not nothing, you know, I'm not the man, I'm nothing, I'm just free-handed, but you know, with my personality and I'm a free-spirited and everything, it's like, I draw certain attention when I'm walking out of the room, dog. And it's not like I try to do it for shadow nobody. It's just me and my personality and I walk in, yo, Dag Diggy in the motherfucking building. What up? And I just my personality that man them team up and oh man, that was crazy. That was terrible, dog, for real. That was rough, cause you find say the man them now do no stage show. If me depend it and if me depend it, them no want to do it. So you know, promoters have to make choices them time there. You don't know them a big artists to me them time there. You know what I say? And you know, if them now go up on certain rhythm if me depend it, and them you know if them depend the rhythm, them don't want me upon the rhythm.
So would it be safe to say that those feuds would have impacted the trajectory of your career?
Yeah, somewhat, yeah, for real, and there's no denying that because, like I said, still, you know, at the time, Killer was one of the most influential artists at the time, and so when him says something,
people believe, man.
Yeah,
people take it on.
People take it on and believe. You know what I'm saying? And so you know, Radio Man used to listen to him. Some jockey used to listen to them. And, you know, the man would have media houses on lock, so no matter how much of the stage show, you're not hear about me, I just them you see in the paper. And yeah, it did. So for a while, people never hear about me, even though I do my thing and still they're foreign and thing internationally and everything is like, but maybe I approached it wrong. Because guess what? You know, this industry is aggressiveness, you know. So the calm, mild, nice thing don't work. Y'all get run over and trampled. And me was that guy. I was the calm, cool, like, no, but them, I was going to do my thing and even watch them, and that was wrong. There
have been no mending of any fences, though.
The younger artist, me not talk to him, I deal with up until this day, is Killer. Me the first, as a matter of fact, me the younger artist where him disrespect, we don't run back into him. Because every other artist where him disrespect, run back in and him and them and friend. Me the younger one, you can't chat to me. First of all, you might forget to apologize to me publicly, because you disrespected me publicly. You have to apologize to me publicly before me and you cool. Look, him have film career, me have my career. Me still do my thing, him still do him thing. Him can't just do him thing and me do my thing. Me not have to be friends, you know what I'm saying? But if, you know, and then the industry always a pressure me about, yo, you can't let it go now, and no. I'm never gonna let it go. And this is why.
So like that still to do, Mr. Lex.
You know why? You know why me not let it go? You know why me not let it go? At the time, when him that do that, I had kids. And my kids them did big and I go to school. And it affected them more. My kids never deserved that. Like there were days when my son them come from, me have son I go Vauxhall, me have son I go Excelsior at the time. I'm a big man still, you know. And me have big kids when know where I go on and them things. So there were days when my kids come home from school and don't want to go to school because other students I teach them about them father. Lexus and this and that, and you know my son them start fight because of kids saying bad stuff about me. Yeah, and them them never did deserve that. Them never did deserve that, dog. And we wouldn't put anybody kids through that. You know what I say? For no reason at all. And I never have nothing, dog. I never disrespect you. I never violate him. No nothing. So I'm like, yo, you know what, my kids them never deserve it. And you know, the world don't experience that, but me experience that at home. And that early, you know how that thing that go if people hurt a kid, dog. You know that's something, is it me I say? And I never forgave him for that. If I did me alone, that's something that affect now. We have man and man to man who could have let go that dog, but my kids them never did deserve that. And until this day, if him not apologize to me and him not gonna be cool. It's just, and it's cool. Like I'm good with not being cool with him. Yo, live your life. Me live my life. You know, as for the footer hype thing now, that was a weird situation, dog. You know, it's like I come from foreign and the whole Jamaica say, Mr. Lex, you and Vegas song bad now. Well, me and Vegas we have a chemistry. You know, anytime me and him collab on a song, it always go huge. So we happen to have a chemistry. Yeah. So I come to Jamaica now and the man say, yo, Lexus, you and Vegas have a body song. And I say, but look how long me and Vegas no voice no song. Yeah. I always sang that. When time I hear the song, me hear, for you know your belly no bang, and you know say you look good in your tongue, and you know, and some girl belly bang over like skirt. So I say, but wait, that's not me that. Yeah. No, that's not me. But the left side and Esco. Yeah, so I call Vegas and say, Vegas, you know see two youth busting in my voice. One sing like you and one DJ like me and the song bus. So that means that the industry want to connect song with me. Come here. Yeah. So we go up in the studio and we create a thing name. All of the girls me them on taxi fare. Make me say you and with you and I don't know what happened, but it wasn't a disrespect. Yeah. You know the song we say. What we really talk about still the girl in my hype. I'm barefoot. Yeah. I said, barefoot girl in my hype. So you know the song we say. So, some girl walk from Papi into Asylum, that not right. What you call them girl there? Footer hype. Yo, I don't know who related to the bro, but him took it as a disrespect. Yeah. And it was just fun sitting there. It wasn't nothing. I mean, never tried this in our style. No. It was just fun. It was really just fun. We really never mean to disrespect nobody nor violate nobody. But treat me and Footer hype. Yeah. And we are talking about the girl and we are walk Footer and hype. It does machine and it wasn't, I swear to God, it wasn't about no disrespect. But then now, to him, he took it as a disrespect. And then at the party up on the mic one night and went on to disrespect me and Vegas. And I was right there. Like, bro, I was right there. You can't disrespect me in my face. Like, me I'm a bad man still, but you can't diss me right as a dog. We're going to fight. You have to defend that, brother. You have to go defend that. So, you know, we went at the party and me the writers on him on the mic and he went on to disrespect me over the mic and things. So, I don't know, I'm just react and let me apologize to my fans because that's not me, man. That's really not me. That's really not me, man. I'm a good guy. But, you know, I reacted and, you know, but after that, we and him got cool back still and thing. And him good and all still. We're good back. Good. So I explained to yo, bro, it wasn't really that disrespect still, about me. I understand if you take it as a diss still at first and things. So, but me and him good back and all still. And, me and Beanie Man good, me and Cabra good. Me and everybody good. Yeah. Except Killer. Except Warla. Yeah, that's except. Yeah, but I mean, me and him alright still. Him good, man. He might do him theme thing.
Killer, general still.
He might do theme thing, me I do my thing still. Yeah, so, you don't know.
There was a peak in the career. Late 90s, early 2000s. And when a Jamaican terms, people are going to say Lexus fall off. You understand? When I see as often as we used to do, when I get the hits them as often as we used to get them, when I see upon interview them, what would have probably led to that though?
Yeah, like Mr. Still, is like the man them team up and shut me out. And bro, you see if the street never loved me, you probably wouldn't hear about me right now. Yeah, bro, I mean, that was unfair to me. That was really unfair to me. Because me never do that to nobody. I try to secure some food for my youth them and my family and everything. Me never do that to nobody. So that was unfair to me though. And that was the reason for that still. I don't like me to just stop DJ and drop off and thing. That was a reason for that. So I just go far and star and I guess I got frustrated with the whole because I can't bother fight the whole media house and the whole thing and all that. And one thing, don't fight the media.
You're gonna lose.
Do not fight the media. Yeah. So I got frustrated and for a while I just go far and go chill out, bro. And thing. But I still do my thing still and I still tour, I still record. Still do my thing every now and then.
Every now and then? Yeah.
Even like now, I don't like our music industry are the only genre where designated if you've been doing it for a while as all artists. Because there is a genre them do that. Once you're a star forever, you know what I'm saying? But yes or no, once you do a number of years, a man say, yeah man, him has been man.
Heineken starter.
Yeah, so them designate if you're Heineken star time and thing. And that rough to you know, bro. That rough to you know, bro. But so now, like, them have me as veteran.
Yeah.
Them always introduce me as veteran artist. Yo, bro. All right, I mean, it's good to get the veteran thing there because not everybody get the whole veteran thing there still, but you know, I'm
you
still
not put yourself in that category there yet.
Like I say, it's good to be called a veteran still because I've been around for a minute. 92 to know a whole heap of years that now. But I'm still active. You know what I say? I'm still young, somewhat. You know, I'm still recording. But like I say, the new generation them designate me as all artists and put to one side. So even now, like my release song, I still release song and them thing there, and people would still come up to me and say, yo, you're not a DJ again. I'm like, yeah man, I'm still a DJ man. Yo, you're not perform, you still do music? Like, oh God. Oh God. Yeah, but I get used to that now still, so it don't really affect me no more. At first it used to affect me still, but no, it don't really affect me no more because, you know, we just know about a fight with the younger generation, select them and try get all up in them face, but yo, you're not playing a song for me and thing. I just go out and go enjoy myself and then,
so,
you know, if them play me, them play me. If none play me, them not play me. Yeah.
So aside from the music then, because since as you're not putting in the work like you them probably used to do in the past, right? I mean, you have a family, you talk about your kids. How many kids you have, by the way?
5 boys and 4 girls.
Wow.
9 kids. My last son, I have 2 sets of twins. Twin girl, them at 22.
2 sets of twin?
Yeah, twin girl, them at 22.
Big people, them man.
Yeah, big people. My first son, 25, I think. My first son at 25, and my son at 24. With the twin girls, them at 22. We have 3 kids who are 19 this year. Hey, don't judge me. 2000 was a good year for me, man.
Good year.
Don't judge me, man. We have 3 kids who are 19 this year. Then there's Ashley's 17. And then Logan a twin, but his brother died at birth.
Well, Excellency, your son done grandfather, brother.
Yeah, my grandfather already, man.
Yeah, grandfather already.
One grandson, man.
Yeah, so, I mean, the family is there. I mean, a lot of the kids are adults now, quote unquote. But food still have to go up on the table. Yeah. And music still do that or you do other things.
Yeah, music still do that.
Okay, good.
I still get my royalties decently and everything. But I was married. And me and my wife, we had businesses, you know. I had a nice lawn on Constant Spring Road. You know, we used to rent cars. We used to have a bunch of cars and rent out and them thing there. But you know, man, I don't pay attention to that. Man, just too much. I love music too much and all of that still. And I guess my focus was really in music, and so I end up lose a couple of the businesses them and end up get a divorce. Which, you know, I'm not really complain about still.
Yeah. But you still manage for stay afloat and put food on the table.
I'm still tour and I still get my royalty check them and all of that. So, you know, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Looking at the career, because we not even want to look back, what would be your biggest achievement?
Okay, so you hear about Major Lazer?
Yeah, man.
First of all, me the first dancehall artist where it in the EDM genre. The first dancehall artist. A lot of people don't know this. And me boss Major Lazer.
Yeah.
Like a Major Lazer boss no people. And me boss Major Lazer. The first big tune them get was a song I did named Hold the Line in 2008.
Do we have a few lines from Hold the Line?
Yo. We have up the hottest girl them boy. Girl from down the country and girl from down the town. Hey, you don't believe me? If you check that phone, Kimona, Simona, Ramona, and Sonia. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Girl love you, that's Sonia. Call Kiki and tell him send me your powder. At the highest grade because we like smell the aroma when we touch the road. Bad tune. Me and a girl named Santi Gold from Philadelphia. That song was nominated for MTV Awards.
Yeah.
That was a huge achievement. I was right there when Kanye took the mic from Taylor Swift. For real, I was right there. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was one of the only few person with a cheer for him. And when I look around, everybody look at me like, I was like, yo, you know what, let me go get a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, because he wanted me to cheer for him now, because our award, when we did nominate, you know, They never bring it on the show. Them do that backstage.
Yeah, backstage
You know,
thing.
and I was like, I was mad about that because I was like, yo, give it a little hype. But the highlight, the high point of that night, because I was at the awards, you know.
Yeah.
The high point of that night is like me daddy and me I say, Jano Star, the DJ, him can't just play my tune, man. Oh my God, me love if him play my song. And I don't know if him hear me or what, but if you watch about the award show there, right after Taylor Swift perform, as Taylor Swift done perform, him drop my tune. And pan TV, them got a commercial. But in the building, I stand up and watch be a multi-selling artist. I rock to my voice about 4 minutes. Easily one of my most memorable moments in my career. And I watch the man in my rock to my like, you know, Jay-Z and Beyonce and Lady Gaga and be a multi-selling artist. I rock to my voice for about 4 minutes. That was easily one of my most memorable moments. I do a song again, me there France, and them call me say, Def Jam, I do an album named Heineken Red Star album, where they're gonna collab rap artists with dancehall artists and drop an album. And so they asked me who I wanted to perform, who I wanted to make a song with, and I was like, Busta Rhymes. But because Busta Rhymes, I'm a god. Busta Rhymes, Jay-Z, and Lil Wayne are my 3 all-time favorite artists, rap artists. And so I was like, yo, Busta Rhymes. But I guess somebody that already choose Busta Rhymes. And it was like, yo, you know what? We have Noriega and Capone.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. I could do that. And the album, they have on God and Jesus on it. Just believe me, man, everybody you can think about on the rap side and everybody you can think of on the dancehall side. So I went to Philadelphia, I went to Jersey over CNN studio with Noriega and Capone and do a song and thing. And we did I listen back the song and Christy Baba from VP called me and said, yo, no, Christy Baba called and I try to listen to the song because, me are artist at the time. And I said, Christy, so we need a singer. So we need a singer on the song, yeah? And she was like, Wayne Wonder.
Yeah.
I was like, yes. Call up Wayne Wonder. We call up Wayne Wonder on the song. Say you wanna take my life. Say you wanna hurt my wife. Biggest tune on the album. Biggest song, and that song fueled the album to a Grammy nomination. Next achievement that again. So, for the biggest one, I don't even know, man. I think, my music got to so much places that, as you can see, Lexus, the company, came at me. So, man, it's no joke from them type of company that come at me.
So that was a lawsuit type of thing?
Yeah, man, the man them sent a thick letter giving me reasons why I shouldn't use them name and shit. And I had to change my name to Mr. Lex them time. That to me is another achievement again. Because like, yo.
You change your name,
to Mr. Lex.
And Lexus, the company, recognized that there's some conflict with the brand.
Yeah, dog.
International renowned brand.
Yeah, dog.
Achievement, that for true.
Yeah, man, it was actually, to me, I consider that an achievement too, dog. So, MTV Awards, the Anything Goes nominated in the Red Star album for a Grammy. I could name quite a few still. Any
regrets? Career-wise, music-wise? Anything
you
do differently?
I could a few people that I trusted, I probably wouldn't have trust them right now. And I wouldn't change anything, but a couple of decisions that I made, I'd probably not make them now. Had I known, the result would have been what it was. But it was a ride, and I loved it. I loved every moment of it, dog. Ups and downs, it was a ride, man. I loved every moment of it. So regrets? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
An artist that you would not have worked with yet, who, if you had the opportunity to work with, you could have unpicked one.
Yo, I still want to record with Busta Rhymes, man.
Still want to record with Busta?
Yeah, I'm God. Locally, I like the girl named Leela Ike. She bad like, yes! Yo, for real.
True,
Chronics, I love to tune with Chronics too. I rate Alkaline, bad like yes, for real, no doubt. There's a bridge that the man need to make between the elder artists them and the younger artists them, and I think people keep missing that. You know what I say? But a lot of times when we try to straighten up the youth them, people mistake it for we talking down on them. Like for example, when we try to say, yo dog, a 3-month song gonna make, you notice that the song them not last. Because this is the problem. Most of the youth them nowadays, them make song for Wagwan. And then when Wagwan gone, the song them gone with Wagwan. When if read, I don't know if them
That
understand
deep,
me.
you know? That
I
deep, that
don't
deep.
even know if them understand me. I
Them
try to
understand,
say.
man.
Is the I say when Wagwan gone, the song gone with Wagwan. So what you should do is make songs that is gonna like yo bro. It's 2019 we in and now. I'm still at tour up and oh man you better can cook. Think you there you have your pretty look. You understand me? I say you gotta make songs where it's gonna last a long time. Is what I say? You know like
Long
some
shelf life.
yeah, dog. Like some artists have that one song we're gonna play forever. Like we in the 90s, and this is another thing again. We in the 90s, we I think our main focus was really on our song.
Yeah.
Them new generation of artists, their main focus is how them look.
Aye.
No,
Look.
how them look.
How them
yeah,
look.
them skin complexion and what them are wear and them things. So nobody like bro, we not perform good for the people them and the people them are complain. We have to take pride in that dog. We don't sound like the record when time in the on stage. That's the next thing again. But when time we say them thing, them think we are talk down to them. We not talk down to my teacher, I try to teach another thing, dog.
Yeah.
Like me say, like Ewa, before me even know about squash, which the six them, before me even know about him, me like the song. I say, yo, who did the song? Every time I feeling. Me never know what I say. Every time I feeling. What we there? We uptown. We never know what the song say, but they are like, oh, that's my shit. That's my shit. Then the man say, yeah, man, them name Squash, man. I'm TJ and them never did know them still, but them hear them song them and I was like, oh, TJ bad. But for me, out of the whole of them, all of them knew that Tommy Lee are the baddest thing. The whole of them are Tommy Lee pitney. Them could have deal.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee are the baddest thing out of the whole of them. What I think we should do is try to show the youth them how to make long-lasting song. Don't beat them down, say, yo, trap song and this and this and that. Because the music now gonna sound one way, dog. Like it now gonna sound like 90s forever. It's not gonna sound like that. Like new people are gonna come with new sound and new thing. We know as our journey for share our experience with the youth them and show them say, yo, dog, try to make some song where I gonna last long. They got this bag of, like, think about the youth them and the bag of gun thing and the youth them I listen to, you know. Cause in real life the youth them I listen to, the dog. So this bag of gun thing when I say, even when I probably take it as joke thing and just have it as lyrics and them thing. But the youth them I listen, dog, when look at idiot them pan the corner where wear them pants down at them body down so and I show them underpants. When them get up in the morning and the first thing them gonna order one special, right name rum and boom and build up this big head spliff and sit down on the corner and listen to that and then them hear that it influenced them. Just trust me, just believe me, it influenced them, dog. So if y'all could kinda ease down on them thing a bit. Me not tell the man say, because you got always have a bad man artist, you got always have a culture artist, you got always have a slack artist, you got always have an artist who the girl them love. That's got art letter forever, but we have to think about the youth them and the influence that we have on the youth them. And the bag of gun thing, dog, it has steered the country in a wrong way. It has steered the country in a wrong way, dog. And I feel,
So the music can influence the youth some legs.
yeah, man, it does. It does, dog. It does.
Normally, artists acquire a catalog of songs over the years. And sometimes the biggest songs, the most popular song is not the favorite song for the artist, but all the songs that you would have done with song are your favorite song.
I like all of my songs. But my favorite, my favorite would be a tie between Full 100 and Cook.
Cook.
It would be a tie, easy a tie between them two songs.
Now I tell them my favorite song, I give the people my peace.
Yeah.
Every night I go to my bed.
Every night I go to my bed, me have to pray and thank the Father God for me missing the that day. Give me the health, give me the strength for me missing and DJ. Me not care when nobody want to say. Sometimes I reason with myself, they must say things like that me mad. But them don't know a reason and a reason with God. We a reason like to a good friend and make a chat. Watch it when me reason with God, then Father God.
Full 100 was a man side on the
Have a new style where them call it Full 100. When me say the style name, yo, next time I interview me still, I go give the story them single by single.
Yeah,
the story behind the song them, yeah.
Anytime you're ready, man.
Yeah, for
Anytime you're
real.
ready. What is that one thing that you would not have achieved as yet that you want to achieve
A
as
Grammy.
an entertainer?
That's my goal. I'm out to drop an album now and I think I'm gonna get nominated next year.
You name the album yet?
No, not yet.
Anything up on the album where you can give a piece of it?
Yeah. Never song when I actually sing. Name Struck by Love, like for real, like me and
Girl,
Adrian.
them something.
Yeah, me and Adrian make it. We sit down and it's a one job song.
Yeah.
And you go. Every time you walk by, I get butterflies and feel somewhat shy. And every time I try to say hi, and something weird happens in my mind, 'cause I've seen lovers parading in the park, and I've seen heartbreaks. I know how it feels to be left in the dark, and then you're struck by love. What do you do when the fear of love is chasing you? In all my life, I said I'll never give love a try. Murder.
The album,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, independent. Yeah,
it will be
yeah. Because I'm
independent.
off VP Records now. I'm no longer a VP Records.
Amicable split?
It's kind of rough though, because as far as coming off, it was amicable, but now they're trying to hold on to 145 of my song them for life, for publishing. So we at it again now. I have to get lawyer, I have to go back for clear up all of that, and that's unfair. Like you can't hold on people things for so long, like for the rest of my life, bro. But you know, that's how company work out and things. So I signed an idiot contract in 1999.
Never spend enough time for peruse.
It was unfair. We never did that, and so it left affect me now. But we can't get around that still. We can, my lawyers on it. We're gonna do that.
So I've had hits,
Yeah.
1 or 2 hits.
Yeah.
We talk about your favorite song already, but in your opinion, what has been your biggest song?
I think my biggest song now is All the Line, which was nominated for the MTV Awards. And here, now, it's kind of weird when I say that because like every time I say that around a Jamaican, they be like, But for Major Lazer, it was for Major Lazer biggest song at the time too. And that's like a worldwide song, dog. That was, but the only place it never hit was Jamaica. And that's weird.
You ever voice a song when you're listening to it, you wish you never voice it?
No. No, because every time I go behind the booth, every time I go behind the mic, I always consider the song the hit song. I not just go voice a song. I not just go voice a song. The only time I do that, the only time I go in the booth and go voice a song and it become a hit where I was like, wait, what? Was a song I never even planned for. Steele and Clevie got me in the studio and say, yo, put a song on the rhythm. So I go in and voice, I write out a song and I do a demo. I do the song as a demo. To me, that was a demo. I never know if that was a real song I do. So I do it as a demo and left. And then like 2 weeks after now, I call up back Steely them and say, yo, I'm ready to come do the song now, brother. And I said, ready for do it song? The song do already, And I'm like, really? And them drop the song and one of my biggest hits. The song go, let those monkeys out, all of the girl them with them face bleach out. When you see them, you fish out. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, ah. Trust me, me never check say the song that got it. There's a demo me put. And the man them release it. The man them say me do it so perfect that it never need to do back again. And the man them just release it and it was a hit.
So Lex, even though he may not be as visible as in the past, he's still around.
Yeah, man.
He's still in the studio.
Yeah,
he's
man.
still working. Persons who want to get in touch with you can hit you up.
Yeah, hit me on Instagram.
IG.
Yeah. All my social media handles are the real Mr. Lex. THEREAL MR LEXX. So that's Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all of them. All of my social media handles are the real Mr. Lex.
So Lex, it was a joy, brother.
Man,
Put
thanks
in
for
the
having
work,
me, man.
Yeah,
Respect
man,
me,
a
bro.
sympathy, man.
Respect,
Anytime again.
Yeah, bro.
But there, when the album Japan go Grammy settings.
Yeah, bro.
Interviews.
Yeah, man, I have the numbers, man. I keep the link, man.
So I read, brother.
Go for
Guy
the Grammy, now, man, as in the beat.
I walk with here,
Yeah, man, respect. What about
Blessings.
man? Yo,
Yeah, man.
peace. Swag dog. Dig it.
Teach them. Hey, yo, yellow. Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here. Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below. Remember to like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. Follow me on social media and check out the suggested videos on screen. This is Teach saying, until next time, walk good, my friends.